is there a song on the album inspired by Miley Cyrus?
Yeah, there are some on there for sure. I think there's a couple.
Cody Simpson reveals how Miley Cyrus played a role in inspiring his new music and talks about those unreleased Justin Bieber collab tracks.
That's a really good question.
Plus, gives us all the details on his upcoming full-length album.
It's funny, like I always end up coming back to my roots. And
it's been almost 6 years since Cody Simpson released a new album, and celebrating his 25th birthday today, the singer announces his first single off the project called Nice to Meet You, which comes out January 25th. And he sat down with Billboard exclusively to talk all about it.
The first single I kind of picked because I felt like the title was appropriate. It being called Nice to Meet You, I just thought that was sort of a perfect, reintroductory statement to me and to my music, and announced the first song on my birthday.
Yes.
Because it just sort of felt like, 25 and, quarter of the way there. You know what I mean? And it's just funny to still be this young, to sort of have been in music for a long time. It's a funny thing, but I just thought it was a monumental sort of way of doing it.
Cody's self-titled album arrives later this year and is the follow-up to 2015's Free, which peaked at number 4 on the Americana Folk Albums chart. Since his last release, he's been mainly focused on his swimming career and training for the Olympics.
I was given like a week off training, and so I booked 8 days in the studio, and we pretty much did the whole thing in that amount of time. It's a very sort of guitar driven, the whole thing was recorded live instruments. Like we didn't dub or like overdub or program anything all the way down to the strings and like the violins and the horns and trumpets and stuff that we included.
You're older, you've gone through so much, you've experienced so much. Like, what do you think your fans are gonna find to be different about you? Or
the whole thing comes across as just a real, statement of my sort of journey through life and emotion and all the rest, like over a period of time. And I've just sort of rolled it all up into a great statement of who I am at this point in my life, and who I sort of have been all along, but sort of haven't found the right avenue to share it. And that's sort of what this album reflects for me, is sort of a return home, return into myself.
Known for writing songs about his past relationships, like 2019's Golden Thing, which was about then-girlfriend Miley Cyrus.
It's a golden thing she's got.
On the topic of romance inspiring this album, here's what he had to say.
A lot of the themes and topics I'm talking about are very much related to the romances I've had and the relationships I've been in and stuff like that. Especially at this age, for me, like those things mean a lot, and they're a great source of inspiration, those personal experiences you have.
I have to ask then, is there a song on the album inspired by Miley Cyrus?
Yeah, there are some on there for sure. I think there's a couple inspired by a few different relationships I've had, whether recent or distant, and I think that'll be reflective in the lyrics.
Are you someone that, like, if you do write a song about a girl or an ex or someone you dated, do you tell them before, or?
No, they usually come back around and say, "Oh, did you, was that inspired?" But I'm like, yeah.
And he wrapped up the interview answering a question for all the OG Cody Simpson fans out there. Are we ever going to get those unreleased songs Cody and Justin Bieber wrote together back in 2014 for their collaborative album?
That's a really good question. I don't know. We sort of haven't really spoken about it a whole lot since then. Like, we kind of went our own ways. I'd really like for people to hear that stuff one day, because it was very good. But no, maybe I should hit him up about it one day, because I think it'd be cool. He's heard a few of the songs on my upcoming record and was really happy about it. So he really liked it, and he sort of called me right away and was like, "This is great stuff. I'm excited for you to be releasing music again." And
you heard it here first. Cody's new music has the Justin Bieber stamp of approval. All right, for more on Cody and his upcoming project, head to Billboard.com. For Billboard News, I'm Chelsea Briggs.